Unlock your dream property with Meeks Realty Group, where Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality. Whether it's residential or commercial, we've got Charleston to Huntington covered. Your key to exceptional real estate experiences start here. Meeks Realty Group. Contact us at meeks.us.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
Hey, folks, good morning to you. Welcome to the show. Dave Allen here. Great to have you along. We are in the Par-Mar Store studio. Ryan Nicholson is our producer today. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. We do the show each Monday through Friday from the Par-Mar Store studio. If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. Par-Mar set to cut the ribbon on their newest location, the TA Travel Center Amico. That'll be this Thursday at 11:30, 470 Frontage Road in Mineral Wells, just off I-77. This location will also have an IHOP, which should be open at some point next week. If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. And we're brought to you by Thornhill Auto Group, including Thornhill Toyota. The Toyota Tacoma is your MVP, the most versatile pickup. Head to the road to total savings, US 119 in Chapmanville, or visit ThornhillToyotaWV.com. Welcome to the show. Second day here in the new digs. We're just happy, fingers crossed, that everything works. Our crack engineering crew has been working, making sure that everything's good to go. I think we're okay this morning. We appreciate you bearing through this, because anytime, it's not easy to relocate an entire radio studio, especially one that hasn't been moved since probably the Woodrow Wilson administration. So, sometimes you have some issues here and there, but we are working our way through it. Coming up on the show this morning, we're going to talk to Robb Reel from our sister station 96.1 KWS, who's now our neighbor just down the hall from us, as we're down sort of in the basement, I guess, here at 1111. Robb Reel is going to be walking from Charleston to Morgantown. Why is he walking? I know we have a station vehicle. I've seen it. Why is he walking? Well, it's to raise money for WVU Children's. And I'm going to let Robb tell you the whole story and what the heck made him think, you know what, this is a good idea. Let's walk to Morgantown from Charleston. He's going to get into that, I think, next week. So we'll talk to Robb about that coming up a little bit later on in the show. Also, State Revenue Secretary Larry Pack will be stopping by the studio as well. Phone calls to the show is service of Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly on Spring Street in Charleston. Texting services provided by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony the Taylor, located at Virginia Street in Charleston. Visit bestmastertaylor.com. There's an event going on this Saturday, and I think our sister station V100 is going to be heavily involved in it. It's called We Care West Virginia. Angie Settle from Health Right is helping organize it. She is here. She joins us this morning in the Par-Mar Store studio, along with Dr. Chris Stansbury of West Virginia Eye Consultants. Welcome to the show, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. I probably need to turn. I think this is your mic. We're still learning as we go. Speak for me again, Angie.
Hello, Dave.
There we go.
Hey.
There we go. You were fine, Chris. Angie was just a little bit low. Okay, but we got it taken care of.
She's never low.
I know.
So what exactly is West Virginia Care Day? What exactly is this whole thing about?
So since 2016, we have been involved, and Dr. Stansbury's been great, Dr. Tom Takubo as well, to do a great event once a year. We've been doing it at the Bible Center with Remote Area Medical Center, but we've gotten so big that they even said this year, hey, guys, I think you can do something on your own. So it's a one-day event where we do totally free medical, dental, vision care. People will even get, we don't have eyeglasses on site, but we'll be ordering eyeglasses for everybody free of charge. But it's just an event for people to come and get health care with no questions asked. We know there's copays and deductibles and everything that stand in the way. And this is a great event where we have people, great volunteers like Dr. Stansbury, they're coming in, giving of their time, and just basically a day where West Virginians help other West Virginians.
Dr. Stansbury, let's talk to you about this. Why exactly are you involved in this?
Well, coming out of the 2016 flood, we saw tremendous need in our part of the state and across the state. Just the utter devastation that some people faced. They lost their dentures, they lost their glasses, they lost their medications, they lost everything. And Angie had a great idea. She said, let's set up a clinic where we can take care of these people and really just, reach out in the community and do whatever we can to help in that hour of need. And what we found is that hour of need never stopped, that those people are out there, and there are people each and every year that come into the clinic for the first time and just say, thank you so much. I can't afford medications. I can't afford to go out and get a new pair of glasses. My glasses are 8 years old and they're falling apart. Whatever the need may be. It's just an awesome opportunity to reach out to those West Virginians in need, and there's a lot of folks out there that need it. And
you've been doing this, as you said, this kind of came about as part of the flood recovery a few years ago, and I know for a fact that this thing has been heavily attended because there's no questions asked. I mean, you just show up and you get service. Give either one of you or maybe both of you, give me a success story. I mean, not a name obviously, but somebody, just a situation where you're able to help somebody in the past.
He's got a great one where he diagnosed somebody with a cancer. So go ahead and tell him.
Yeah, we had a gentleman come in who was just looking for new glasses. He had no idea that he had anything serious going on in the back of the eyes. But when we took a look back there, we diagnosed him with a rare form of cancer called choroidal melanoma. And if left untreated, it can metastasize or spread to places like the liver, the lungs, and it can be fatal. And so fortunately for this gentleman, he came into the clinic. We were able to get him referred out to one of our local retina specialists who was able to treat the cancer with a radioactive plaque, get that thing to shrivel up and die, and thankfully save his life. And he came back in a couple of years ago and just expressed his gratitude and said, thank you so much. We just appreciate what you all do here. So just beautiful stories like that where people, don't even know they have an issue, haven't been checked in years, and we're able to discover something serious, get it taken care of, and make a difference in their lives.
There was a family that came in, actually, I think it was like six or eight. They had like 6 kids, and 7 of them left with glasses, like mom and 6 kids, they all left with glasses.
They left with glasses that day?
Yes. So with Remote Area Medical Center, they did have an on-site, like a mobile glass-making machine. We haven't gotten that high-tech unless you can find somebody that wants to donate, like some money to us, and we can buy one of those. But we do have a relationship with a group where we will actually order those glasses. They'll come in, and then we'll, mail them to patients or have those patients pick them up. So they will get free glasses, but they just won't get them that day.
Talking again about this big event that's happening this weekend with Chris Stansbury and Angie Settle of Health Right, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Huston's Pizza. This month at your favorite Huston's, get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and an 8-inch chocolate chip cookie, only $23.99. Let's talk about the buy-in from the community. We know that the people that need the services, guys, show up, but let's talk about the sponsors or people that get involved or something like that, or just the community in general helping to spread the word.
Well, I will tell you, he couldn't be here today because he's a busy guy, but can't say enough good about Dr. Tom Takubo. He has been with us every year. He's our medical lead. Dr. Michael Tuta, he's our dental lead for this. And they're volunteers. These are our regular volunteers at West Virginia Health Right. And we have about 150 people signed up to volunteer this Saturday. Actually, you mentioned Larry Pack. He and his wife are like presenting sponsors for this event. Highmark, Blue Cross Blue Shield. We have a whole list of sponsors, but those two are the presenting sponsors, Highmark, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Larry and Lisa Pack. So very supportive of our clinic. We can't do what we do without having all of our sponsors on board because they help, cover all the costs of this stuff. We're a free and charitable clinic, so there's a lot of costs involved. But
now we're Tuesday, guys, and we're looking at this event this weekend. If people are listening right now, they say, well, I'd like to get involved as far as a sponsorship, or I'd like to make a donation or something like that. Can you do that at this point?
Sure. They can just call my office. It's 304-414-5931. That's directly to my extension. We would love to have volunteers, and, donations is great. But as far as patients, the doors will open at 8 o'clock. That's one of the things that we changed. We love remote area medical, but it was a real standard that they do these across the board that, they would give tickets out at like 3 a.m. and doors would open at 6 a.m. So you have people out, really early. So we're trying to tweak it a little bit, make it a little more friendlier in terms of hours. So patients will come in at 8 a.m., and we'll go through 5 p.m. Next year, it may be 2 days. We went with 1 day this year. We had to pick our own name. So basically, it's the same event we've been doing every year, but it'll be at our East End clinic because we've doubled the size of it. And we can do everything on site now. So, and extended services. So we'll have the full pharmacy there. We're going to be doing, HIV, hepatitis C testing, vaccines, the whole 9 yards there. So.
And what about volunteers, people just to help out? I mean, because I would imagine with an event like this, Chris, you got to have somebody to do traffic control, somebody to keep people in line, that sort of thing. Do you need, because I'm thinking, and I always bring this up because I know that in order, and I always bring this up to parents and grandparents, that in order to graduate in public school in West Virginia, you have to do so much community service. I'm thinking this would be a great event for local high school kids to come, or church groups or civic organizations, your Rotaries, Kiwanis, whatever. Do you still need people like that?
Yeah, they can call me, but it's also go to We Care West Virginia. I think it's .org. It could be .com.
We'll try one or the other.
One or the other.
I've actually got the graphic posted on my social media on Dave Allen Radio, so it may be on there. But
we would love
one or
to
the
have
other.
volunteers. And what's fun, we tried to make it, it's WU Homecoming Day. So we've got like a little tailgate behind the scenes theme for volunteers to feed our, volunteers, have a big screen with pregame stuff. If you're like my boys, they pregame all day.
Yeah, because the game's at night, right?
Yeah.
So.
but we're going to feed people, like wings and stuff. And, do whatever it is you do on game day.
All right. Give us all the details again, the wins and the wheres and the hours and everything. Take it from the top.
This Saturday, the 19th at West Virginia Health Rates East End Clinic. It's 1520 Washington Street East. We're right beside a Tutors. Most people don't know where anything is in West Virginia, but they know where Tutors is.
We know landmarks in West Virginia.
That's right. And again, it's just come, no questions asked. No, we're not going to ask you about income or insurance or anything. And we just ask that you come. You might have to have a little patience, maybe a little bit of wait, but we have great docs like Dr. Stansbury going to be there doing eye exams, and great, dentist, Dr. Takubo coming. And just everybody that's coming is there because they want to be there. They're volunteers. And again, my favorite saying is it's about West Virginians helping West Virginians. And I love that event because it shows our heart.
All right, Angie Settle from Health Right, Chris Stansbury, you wanted any follow-up words from you?
No, I just can't say enough, thanks to all of our volunteers. The more volunteers we have, the more people we can see, the more people we can help, the more lives we can touch. And
weather looks great, too. I'm always keeping an eye on the weather. Weather looks good this weekend, too. So,
as Angie mentioned, that's our can-do spirit here in West Virginia.
It
we
is.
reach out, we help our neighbors.
And that's how we decide how many we can see. Basically, if we get like a lot of volunteers for a specialty, we can see more people. So we gauge it on that, how many we can see that day based on how many volunteers do we get. So we're always happy to have more volunteers.
All right. Guys, I appreciate you being here. It's a great event. We helped you promote it last year. And as I said, I think our sister station V100 is going to be a big part of it. I know that Steve was talking about it earlier. Appreciate you guys being here, and best of luck with everything on Saturday. If you need anything between now and then, reach out and we'll get it on the air for you. Chris Stansbury and Angie Settle. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Bridge Valley. If you're interested in improving your company's IT workforce, know that they offer custom-tailored IT training to bridge the skills gap. At Bridge Valley, you can train for little or no cost. 50/50 salary match, too. They can also supply skilled graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Visit bridgevalley.edu/apprenticeships today. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor, text 304-935-5008. Coming up a little bit later on, Robb Reel from right down the hall from us, our sister station, 96.1 KWS Superstar Country. Robb is walking, Angie and Chris, walking from Charleston to Morgantown. I don't know what he's thinking. He's never been accused of being the sharpest knife in the drawer. So we're going to figure out what this is all about, but he's got big plans. Also, Larry Pack, State Revenue Secretary, he's coming up next. We're back after this from the Parmar Store studio, the Dave Allen Show, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses want to thank you for shopping locally.
Welcome to Poca Valley, where we've been in business since 1908. Today, we serve Roane, Kanawha, Putnam, and surrounding counties. We believe you deserve banking that provides friendly customer service. For all of your financial needs, stop by one of our 8 convenient locations. Call us at 844-782-2651 or visit us online at PocaValleyBank.com. Poca Valley, where relationships matter.
Member FDIC.
Sick of negative headlines coming out of the Capitol and around West Virginia? Think the government should just work?
I'm Kayla Young, and as your delegate, I focused on putting money back in your pockets through tax cuts, fixing childcare, protecting our kids from abuse and neglect, and just making sure that everyone's getting along by working hard for you instead of culture wars that make your life worse, not any better. Like you, I know we still have some work to do.
This November, vote Kayla Young for House of Delegates to make West Virginia the best it can be and to make government more boring. Paid for by Kayla Young for West Virginia.
Calling all sports fans this season, the Toyota Tacoma is your MVP. Most versatile pickup. Hey, it's Sydney. And whether you're hauling gear or heading out for a weekend adventure, the all-new 2024 Toyota Tacoma has you covered. Ready to win? Drive off in a new Toyota Tacoma today with rates as low as 4.99% APR. It's game time at the new Thornhill Toyota. Your new Tacoma is waiting on the road to total savings. US 119 in Chapmanville and ThornhillToyotaWV.com. Every fan, every team, every season, go Thornhill. Let's walk all offers through Toyota Financial. See Thornhill for full details.
It is 9:24. Bigley, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Meeks Realty Group. Rich the Realtor's always happy to take your call. Rich has got a beautiful listing in Scott Depot, 75 Poinsettia Drive in Scott Depot. Stunning 5,600 square foot home. A lot of features, too many to mention here, but it does have 6 bedrooms, 2 half baths, 2 laundry rooms, and a full house generator to make sure your power always stays on. You can call or text my good friend Rich the Realtor, 304-932-7488. Let him tell you more about this fine property. Coming up on tomorrow's show, our good friend Millie Snyder from the Shape Shop is going to be stopping by, and we'll spend some time talking about Alzheimer's. That is coming up on tomorrow's show. All right, so we got, let's bring in State Revenue Secretary Larry Pack. How are you, sir?
Good. Good morning. How are you, Dave?
Welcome to our new home.
Hey, it's all right. Looks good. Looks good. A little different, a little tighter.
Yeah, a little bit smaller studio, but it's got a lot of shiny stuff.
It does that.
Some of the stuff we don't even know what it does yet.
All right, but at least we got it. We figured it out over time.
Like I said before, I was telling them, I said, when you are in the same place for a long, long time, radio stations are hard to move. I don't know whether people realize radio, television, they're hard to move, especially when you're trying to stay on there the whole time. But our Ken and the crew has just done a fantastic job.
Fantastic.
Here, so.
Look forward to seeing the new studio.
Yeah. And next time, possibly, I don't know when you'll be on again, we may be on television.
Oh, great.
And
great.
you always are ready for television, sir.
Always ready. Yeah.
It'll be just like Hoppy's place. Fantastic. All right, so let's break this down and keep it simple for people like me. Okay, so we have a compromise now between the governor and the legislature. The special session was held last week. What was originally a 5% tax increase or a decrease, was what was wanted. Now it's 2%. Your thoughts on the compromise?
Well, I think it's how the system works, right? The governor proposes, he really wanted 5%. He wanted to continue to move us forward. The legislature is a little bit more hesitant. We spent about 3 months doing a deep dive on the finances of the state. And again, from a governor's standpoint, I think from a revenue standpoint, we felt very comfortable with 5%. But, government is the art of compromise. We felt that like if we could get the 2% plus getting the child care tax credit, that was a good day's work. So we're very, very pleased that we could reach agreement with the legislature, and very pleased that we can reduce the tax burden on our citizens.
And I think you would be the first to admit, and I'm not trying to bring up any bad subjects here, Secretary, but there's sometimes on certain issues been a little bit of a disconnect between the legislature and the governor. This is something that they were able to work together on. I heard everybody seemed to be smiling and kind of got through it.
There's always tension, different aspects, different perspectives. There's 134 legislators. There's one governor. And so what the governor has to do, and what our challenge was, and the governor gave us the challenge, is to work with the legislature to come up with a compromise, to come up with a legislation that we can pass. And it's really just another step on what the governor and what we've been working on really since my tenure there, which is to reduce the tax burden on citizens of West Virginia. So we're well north of $1 billion over the last couple of years, last 2.5 years. It's something I know the governor's real proud of. I'm very proud to have a part of that, and I know the legislature is also proud. We're continuing to march forward. We want to be competitive with other states. We want to no longer be an outlier. We're still higher than our surrounding states on personal income tax, but we're making steps toward that goal.
So break it down. What does this mean to the average person? I mean, the average person. I mean, and I know there's no such thing as average per se, but just I'm a homeowner, got a job living here in the Kanawha Valley. What's this going to mean to me?
I think the way I look at it, to try to make it look simple, I was talking to some of my family members, is that over the last 2.5 years, the governor of the legislature has reduced your personal income tax burden by about 26%, roughly 26%. So whatever you were paying in 2023, you're now paying about 26% less at this time. And that's going to be different for every taxpayer, no matter where you're at. But also, in just the top level, we now have a child care tax credit we didn't have before. That's going to help working families. Most of the conversation back in the legislative session was for folks at the lower income scale. We're no longer taxing Social Security benefits. That's something new and something that we've worked on for a lot of years as far as the Republican Party that we're very proud of. We've got tax credits for veterans. So there are a lot of different tax credits, a lot of different ways that we're reducing the personal income tax burden for citizens. But it's accumulation. And again, you just got to continue to march forward. I look forward to the next administration. I would really do believe that Attorney General Morsi, soon to be Governor Morsi, will pick up that mantle and run with it.
Talking again with State Revenue Secretary Larry Pack, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Birds in our sister station, 107.3 The Beat, invite you to Go-Mart Ballpark Thursday the 24th for Trick or Beat, presented by Salango Law. There'll be 2 sessions, one at 6 o'clock, the other starting at 7:30. Keep in mind it is free, but you must have a ticket. You must have a ticket to get your kids admitted. Tickets are available at our studios, 1111 Virginia Street East in Charleston during normal business hours. I have a text to the show here, Secretary. It says, where specifically will the cuts come from in DHS? Surely with the deep dive, they know specifically where the funds can be taken from.
I think it's one of the interesting things about the conversation, and I'll kind of back up a little bit, that a lot of the conversation came from last week or last 2 or 3 months. How do you do it? How do you do it? And to put it in perspective, we're only talking about 2% roughly of the general fund budget. That's all we're talking about. 2% cut is something that households have dealt with over the years, and they know how to do it. Businesses know how to cut 2%. So the idea that we can't wring out 2% of the state budget is kind of it's an understatement to me. We can get it from a myriad of choices, a myriad of different ways, and so we're looking at all the different options and different ways to do it. But again, it's just 2 cents on the dollar. And the only way that we can't come up with 2 cents a dollar is if you believe that the state government is so efficient and so organized that they can't reduce 2%. So it'll come from all across the budget. We do know there's different departments we've reorganized. We'll be able to get some money out of there. The governor's continued to put forward flat budgets in most departments. We are starting to work on a budget that we will hand off to Governor Morsi somewhere around Thanksgiving. Then that gives him about 60 days to do his part. So we feel very confident about it. We don't have the specifics exactly where, but again, coming up with 2%, we don't think it's going to be much of a challenge.
Talk about overall revenue. I mean, we hear all these numbers, and every month, new reports come out of your office and out of the government that says this is how we're doing. We're so much over budget or under budget. It kind of varies from month to month. Just talk about West Virginia as a whole. You're a numbers guy, budget guy. Tell me how we're doing overall.
Well, really, we have came through a season over the last 4 or 5 years that is just absolutely extraordinary. So the state government have had budget surpluses in the neighborhood of $4 billion. That means that we've basically taken $4 billion more from our taxpayers than we really need to run government. Now, a lot of that money has been spent on what is called one-time expenditures. And to whether it's economic development, whether it's trying to rehabbing some buildings, some stuff on health care. But we've had an extraordinary run. And I think for that reason, government's really had a good run, and government's been well funded over the last 4 years. Now it's time for the government to kind of tighten their belts a little bit. And so we feel very good about it. We're on track to meet our revenue estimates for this year. We believe very confidently that we're going to beat those revenue budgets. We've only been through 3 months of the fiscal year, so we're just kind of getting started. We have a lot more confidence once we get through about 6 months, but we feel good about it. West Virginia's economy has been diversifying. That's something the governor's worked on. That's something the legislature's worked on really even longer than the governor's been there. We're seeing the results of that, so we feel very, very confident going forward.
And it hasn't always been this way in West Virginia. If you go back over the decades, and it doesn't matter whether we've had budget issues, whether it's Republican or Democrat occupying the governor's mansion. So it's not necessarily a partisan thing. We've just had issues over the years, and so it's good to have some good news.
It really is, and again, I think so much of it is the discipline that the legislature and governors had over a number of years to produce relatively flat budgets, which is another way of saying to produce budgets where there's margin at the end. So there's margins if you either miss your revenue estimates. There's margins so that you're able to do one-time spends. And again, when government collects a dollar, they got 3 or 4 choices. We can save it, we can spend it, or we can give it back. So that fiscal discipline, which I think is something that West Virginians understand, they practice at their homes, they practice in their businesses, is something that we've been exhibiting, and that will do us good going forward. But I think the other thing is just perspective, and what people I think sometimes under the dome forget is that our taxpayers work really, really hard to pay these taxes and fees. And these people that are paying the taxes and fees, by and large, they don't have lobbyists. They're not under the dome. They're working. They're raising their families. And so much of what we're trying to do is change the perspective. Does the government really need this money? Is this really a good idea? Is this something that really has to be done? Because we get a lot of people with wants coming to the State House. We're trying to knock it down to needs. Do you really need it? And again, so much of what we're trying to do is just change the perspective of our folks that shop at Walmart, the folks who graduate from high school. They work hard to pay their taxes. We want to make sure we don't take any more than's necessary.
How does the future look for West Virginia, in Larry Pack's opinion?
I am very bullish on West Virginia. I'm able to, from my vantage point, working for the governor, working in the governor's office, is to see the economic drivers that are coming into West Virginia, the different businesses that are expanding, that want to be in West Virginia. So all the work that's happened over the last 10 or 12 years is really starting to pay off. Again, from an eastern panhandle, northern panhandle, north central, just a tremendous amount of growth, tremendous amount of potential there. I was at Nucor yesterday. I've never been on a construction site that had 1,000 men or women that were working to build something. Isn't it? The scale of it was just absolutely extraordinary. The communications, the coordination of getting it done is just phenomenal. That will change, absolutely transform that part of the state. So very, very excited about that. But there's a lot of smaller projects like Nucor going in. We're going to really see the benefits, and it all comes down to jobs. And if we have jobs, we'll have growth. The only concern we have is where I grew up and where you grew up, in the southern coal fields. So we're still struggling down there. We're still looking for opportunities. We have some things we think people may want to go down there to create jobs, but the war against coal has absolutely ravaged southern West Virginia. Again, I think it's one of the reasons why this election coming up in 3 weeks from today is so important. So at least we can stem, to kind of stop the war, maybe push back a little bit and get some of these coal mines back in operations. And I have talked to those that are running for office again, and those that are also in office as well. We are seeing some incredible economic growth in West Virginia. You mentioned Nucor, and I live in Putnam County. I'm seeing what's going on there right now, Eastern Panhandle. But we got to figure out how to make sure that the rest of the state, the southern West Virginias and other areas, that how they can also get a piece of the pie as well. Yeah, and that's a balance. That's the dance that has to happen in the governor's office. Is that we have to help the areas that are growing with infrastructure and all the things they need to grow and grow faster. But we can't forget the areas of West Virginia that basically has paid for government for many years. And so we're also trying to do everything we can for the southern coal fields with infrastructure. And try to do everything we can to push businesses that way. So we think that all of West Virginia is transforming. We look forward to doing everything we can to get southern West Virginia growing again. That's where my heart is. That's where the governor's heart is. And again, I'm sure that Governor Morsi will take out that mantle and run with it as well. A couple of texts before we let you go. Text says, why is West Virginia's GDP less than every other state that surrounds us? I think a lot of it has to do with 80 years of not trying to make West Virginia business friendly. If businesses won't come to West Virginia, we can't raise our standard of living. That's something we've worked hard over the last 10 years to try to turn around. But for many years, big businesses were punished to come to West Virginia, and so they basically situated around our border. We've tried to change that. We think we are changing that. That will do a lot to move up our gross national product, to our median income. We're doing a lot to work towards that, but you can't do 80 years of telling businesses not to come to West Virginia and expect us to be competitive with our surrounding states. Now, outside your current role as State Revenue Secretary, you're also running to be the State Treasurer. I know you're keeping the two things separate, but while I've got you here, may not have you on before the election. Talk about your run for State Treasurer. Why do you want to do this? We're very excited. I'm very excited about that. I spent 20 years as CPA and another 20 years in business, so I am a numbers guy. The state treasurer, as much as anything, is the CFO for the state, chief financial officer of state. So how we spend money, how we save money, how we borrow money, how we receive money. Those are things we want to work on. We're also the state's bank, so we take care of all the banking relationships for the state of West Virginia. We run the Hope Scholarship Program, some of the college savings programs. So it's a big portfolio. I look forward to being able to kind of almost narrow what the things that I work on, and also look forward to being able to really work hard to extend educational freedom, but take a longer view of state's finances. In the governor's office, it's go, go, go every day. There's some issue. The legislature only gets 60 days to focus in on issues. I think we can give a lot of information to the governor and the legislature about long-term trends and what we're seeing, and hopefully be able to help them all be successful.
State Revenue Secretary Larry Pack, I appreciate you being here, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for the opportunity. Have a good day.
You as well. 21 minutes away from 10. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan. If you're injured, hire Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Going to take a break. We're going to try to figure out why Robb Reel from our sister station 96.1 KWS is walking, Larry, from Charleston to Morgantown.
Oh, wow.
He's going to walk. I know you're a guy that stays in shape, but walking to Morgantown, Larry, I mean...
I'll have to listen in on that.
Right. All right. We'll be back right after this from the Par-Mar Store studio of the Dave Allen Show, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses live to make life better for you and your family.
The holidays will be here before you know it. That means shopping for gifts for everyone on your list. This year, give more with a Christmas loan from Members Choice, West Virginia. Now through December 24th, you can get up to $1,500 with rates as low as 5% and up to 10 months to pay back. Apply for your Christmas loan today at memberschoicewv.com or visit 201 Ohio Avenue in Charleston. Loans are subject to credit approval. Additional restrictions may apply.
The Kanawha County Sheriff's Office wants to remind you of a very important date. After October 18th, you must pay any 2023 delinquent real property taxes with certified funds or U.S. currency. No personal checks or credit cards will be accepted. After October 31st, all 2023 delinquent real estate accounts and the related current year assessment will be certified to the state auditor at the state capitol. Visit kanawhasheriff.us to learn more.
Bigley Piggly Wiggly on Spring Street has served 3 generations of shoppers since 1955 as the largest locally owned independent grocery store in the area. The Joseph family owners grew up here, so you know they're invested in the community. They provide the biggest variety of choice meats, the freshest produce, an in-house deli bakery, great wine selection, and more of your favorite brands. Every purchase gives you gasoline points so you can save at our pumps. Order online for pickup at BigleyPigglyWiggly.com. Bigley Piggly Wiggly on Spring Street. No one beats the pig.
Hey, it's Dave Allen for Par-Mar Stores. The most wonderful time of the year is here. Of course, I'm talking about football season, and your local Par-Mar store is ready. Whether you're heading to the game or just catching it at home, Par-Mar has everything you'll need, from the drinks to the snacks and so much more. Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar rewards cards for even more savings. West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. Happy football. And if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. Special Olympics embodies the true spirit of sportsmanship, not merely about winning medals. It's about being a part of a team, practicing and competing together. The joy and fulfillment that are derived from these experiences are immeasurable as athletes find their confidence and self-worth through the shared pursuit of victory. West Virginia, enriched in collaboration with Huntington, invites you to witness the transformative power of Special Olympics. See a video highlighting the Special Olympics at facebook.com/580WCHS. Bigley Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaylor text 304-935-5008. Text says they want to cut taxes, but there's no bridge maintenance program and no speed enforcement, says the texter. Texter says that was a weak answer concerning the GDP. Okay. Robb Reel.
Good morning.
Is here from our sister station, 96.1 KWS Superstar Country. Hey, man.
It's a much shorter walk to come do the show with you at the moment. It's literally across the hall now, as opposed to across the hall around you needed a Sherpa and a St. Bernard to get from my studio to yours before.
So what do you think of the new digs, man? I mean, this is our temporary home because we're going to be here and then we're going to eventually move back upstairs. And this is going to be everybody's transition home, from what I understand. But
yes.
Because they're going to redo all the studios, and you'll come in here and hang out, then you'll go back again. But so far, what do you think of it?
It is bright and beautiful, and even though this is radio, do not underestimate the quality of the visual for us to be able to do what we do.
Indeed. All right. So, and I would have at least thought you would have brought us like a bag of, a fruit basket or a canned ham or something as a
trust me, this station already has enough canned ham. Thank you.
All right. Well, waited all day on that one. So, Rob, I've known you for how long have you been here?
I've been back a year and a half.
Yeah.
This is my second tour of duty with WVRC Media. You did talk about new studios. When I came back, it had been, I think, it's somewhere between 7 and 8 years since I'd been in the 96.1 studio, and I remembered just enough. It was just familiar enough to be awkward.
When you think you know it, but you don't.
Yes, yes. That whole day 2 thing. Day 1, you don't know what you know. You don't know what you're doing. You're a pig on roller skates. But day 2, you think, I kind of got this. No, I did not. I said a dumb thing a couple of months ago, I think, during our Cares for Kids Radiothon. I got caught up in the spirit of it at the Hostetler Center on the 10th floor of WVU Medicine Children's. And I wasn't thrilled with how the numbers were coming in early Friday morning. And I proclaimed that if we could somehow manage to beat last year's total, that I would walk the check back from our office here in Charleston to the to WVU Medicine Children's. That I'd walk, carry it myself. That was a dumb thing for me.
What were you thinking?
I wasn't.
I know you're not a drinker, but still, I mean, had you had a little nip there?
Well, a little Gaelic coffee is what it takes to get you going, keep you warm. It was cold in the Hostetler Center that morning. And we frequently talk about in this place how I am 50 IQ points smarter afternoon than I am before it. And I was a talking monkey at that point. And I just, I said, if y'all can do this, I will walk. I didn't think it was going to happen. Let's be honest.
You underestimated our listeners, basically.
Yeah, I think I did by a long shot, because y'all smashed it. $172,000 and some change for West Virginia kids to stay healthy, happy, and healing. And so I am nothing if not a man of my word.
You are that.
I am nothing. But I am a man of my word. So I will keep that promise. And Thursday morning at 8 o'clock.
This Thursday?
This Thursday morning. Less than 47 hours from now, I will step out of the Walker Studios. We've got somebody to hit the 1s and the 2s for me. And I will start walking toward Morgantown. We've coordinated some with West Virginia State Police and, of course, the corporate folks and their lawyers. I hate all lawyers except mine. Good morning, Olivia. So there are some rules to this. I obviously can't do it all at once. They're only letting me walk during daylight. So each day we'll start at 8 a.m. and I have basically until 6 p.m. to get that day.
And it's getting darker sooner now. We haven't had the time change yet, but I noticed it last night. It's starting to get darker a lot sooner.
It is not a coincidence that we're getting this done before the time change hits on November 3rd, because we fall back, and then that's an hour less I have in the evening. So about 10 hours of available walking time. That includes any pit stops and food and, passing out by the side of the road, any defibrillation that's going to happen. So 8 o'clock, day 1, I hope to make it to Clendenin. That's 21 miles. That'll be the biggest chunk of it. If I can survive on Thursday, I'll be all right.
Now, somebody going to be following you along in a vehicle and, throw you in the back?
That happens to me every day.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But no, I will have support available. Our station vehicle, Truck Norris, as we like to call it, will be floating around wherever I'm walking. It may not necessarily be where I plan to stop that day, but it'll be there and can fetch me. Some of the time it'll be folks who work with us. Some of the time it's going to be my family who's going to be in town next week, just in case, because they have a vested interest in whether I live or don't. Because the ones who will be there rent from me. So yeah, I'll have the support I need, but any cheering on that folks want to do, any following along they want to do on social media, good words, I'm always happy to take. And if anybody is so moved by this that they want to reach out to the Children's Miracle Network and WVU Medicine Children's, I think we can accommodate that as well. I'm not looking for pledges per mile or anything like that. But if you are so moved, I'm sure we can get that arranged.
So how long approximately is this going to take? I know you got to factor in weather and things of that nature, and and bunions and things of that nature.
They shoot horses, don't they?
But how long is this going to take? Do you have any idea?
I have allotted 11 work days. So we'll go Thursday, Friday this week. I'll rest up Saturday, Sunday. We'll go Monday through Friday the next week, rest up the following Saturday, Sunday, and then start again the following Monday. And we should be walking into WVU Medicine Children's, hitting the elevator up to the 10th floor, again, the Hostetler Center, for some Halloween shenanigans on Thursday afternoon, October 31st. This is built kind of in a way that if there is a problem, whether it's weather or something like that,
or you
or me, there is kind of a flex day in there in that last week of 2 very short walks that I'm planning that I could combine into one. And if worse comes to worse, I will do some walking on Saturday or Sunday just to make up some miles if I need to.
So are you booking hotels along the way? You sleeping in the truck? I mean, how's this? I want to know logistics, man.
The answer is yes to all that. Here in the early on, I'll get to sleep in my own bed in downtown Charleston. I'll get to Clendenin in the truck.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
The truck will be waiting for me. I'll simply drive back, sleep in my own bed. I'll actually come in and do some things in the studio Friday morning,
and then
the usual
pick
video.
up in Clendenin. Yeah.
Yep. And then somebody will follow me to Left Hand on Friday, and we'll drop the truck off, and they'll take me back, and I'll start in Clendenin. And it's when we get closer to the hospital that final week, Clarksburg, Fairmont, Morgantown, that I'll need some hotel help.
Yeah.
But having family to ferry me around in that middle week is going to help, because I can just pass out in the passenger seat and maybe put my feet up so that they're not all swollen, looking like Fred Flintstone.
Have you ever attempted? Because I know you've been in radio for a long time and you've been all over the country. Have you ever attempted anything even remotely close to this?
So I've done a number of stupid things in my life.
But are we still talking about radio?
Well, the closest it comes for me, it's both good and bad. Of course, I served in the United States Marine Corps, so I'm used to it.
Thank you for your service.
It was my honor. I am familiar with hiking 20 miles in a field pack. I was a marathoner when I was a kid.
There's a big difference, Rob, between 18 to 20-year-old Rob and early 50s Rob.
That's the difference. I will turn 51, God willing, on All Saints Day. It is not a coincidence that I'm trying to finish this thing before my birthday.
Okay.
But yeah, so I at least have the mental experience of going this far. I mean, I did an Ironman in my teens.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd think that at least some of that imprinting would stick in my head, but you're right. I'm 50 and I have the knees of a man twice my age.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be interesting. I've scouted the route, and there are a couple of spots where the road just goes uphill.
Yeah.
It's uphill for 172 miles really to Morgantown. So this was not.
So you're going to start Thursday morning. You're averaging about 20 miles a day.
21 is the most I will do on a day. So,
but if you're feeling good, you may do a couple more. Or if you're feeling bad, maybe you drop off a little bit.
Yeah.
Say, well,
I would say the average, 172 divided by 11 days. It's an average about 15 or 16 miles a day. But, if I have if I'm feeling good Friday afternoon and I pass the post office in Left Hand and I'm like, I can go a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep going toward Arnoldsburg a little bit. And then, I'll have the weekend to rest. But this is not my finest hour. I'll be honest.
Well, now I'd like to. If you can, I'd like for you to check in with us. On the show.
I would be glad to.
Know, but we don't want it to sound like you're calling a 1-900 number and you're breathing heavily on the phone or something. Back if you remember those, I'm sure you do because you're Rob. So
I could never afford it. I work in radio.
So I would like for you to maybe check in with us daily as best you can. Like, Rob, where are you? Even if it's just for 5 minutes, is that something we could do?
I think we can work that out. It's funny you mentioned that. I've already worked out my Halloween costume for the final day. Had I thought ahead, I would have done a Where's Waldo.
Okay.
And I'm not doing that, but maybe the next time I do something this stupid.
All right. I got a text here for you. Text says, Rob, make sure you've got some Elvis on your phone or iPod for your trek to Morgantown. Some awareness dance walking music will help make the time fly by. Safe travels.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And another one says, thought about hiking the Appalachian Trail? ? This seems like a nice practice run for the Appalachian Trail.
Yes. I would need trekking poles for that. I'm not kidding when I say my knees are shot. 2 seasons of minor league baseball as a catcher and 2 surgeries, and it's bone on bone on bone on bone. This is going to be fun.
All right, Rob. We'll be testing, checking in with you from time to time, man.
I'm going to be sent to a rendering plant by the time this is over.
Good luck.
Good luck and Godspeed.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live brought to you part by Pinnacle Consultants. Pinnacle offers a 4-phase assessment for your property's inspection, sampling, and analysis, comprehensive reporting, and management planning. Visit pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can hurt you. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaylor, text 304-935-5008. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Tar Family Businesses. Eric J. Tar Family Businesses want to thank you for supporting local small businesses.
As retirement approaches, are you confident in your financial plan? At 4th Avenue Financial, they specialize in helping you to prepare for this important milestone. Whether you're concerned about income, investments, or leaving a legacy, John Burdett provides personalized strategies to ensure a secure and fulfilling retirement. Don't leave your future to chance. Trust 4th Avenue Financial to help you retire right with confidence. Your financial goals, their expert guidance. Visit them today at 4thavenuefinancial.com.
Securities offered through Jenny B. Cole Financial Incorporated. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Jenny B. Cole Advisors Incorporated.
Planning for retirement? Stike Wealth Enhancement Group is here to help. Whether you're preparing to retire, already retired, or seeking advice, our experts guide you every step of the way. Imagine leaving a legacy that supports your children or even the Children's Hospital. With careful planning, you can enjoy your retirement and make a lasting impact. At Stike Wealth Enhancement Group, we help you achieve your financial goals and create a legacy that matters. Start planning today. Visit StikeWEG.com. Secure your future. Leave a legacy.
Securities and advisory service offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC. Kanawha County needs an effective and stable leader in the prosecutor's office. We need John R. Mitchell Jr. John is a seasoned professional with 40 years of criminal law experience. John is a former state senator and has experience working in the Attorney General's office and as an assistant county prosecutor. The Kanawha County Prosecutor's Office needs a leader who can help keep criminals off the street. Kanawha County needs John R. Mitchell Jr. Paid for by the committee to elect John R. Mitchell Jr.
Hey, West Virginia. Need extra defense? This season, don't let respiratory illness slow you down. Vaccines are your best defense this fall because your health protects their future so you can celebrate safely, get closer with confidence, and never miss a moment. Breathe easy, West Virginia. Find out how by going to breatheeasy.wv.gov.
Vaccines are your best protection against severe disease from flu and COVID-19. If you're 65 or older, risk less and do more with this season's vaccines. Get started at vaccines.gov, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Live Healthy West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine. Live Healthy, tackling pressing health issues. It's a podcast offering insights into medical breakthroughs and preventative care, featuring WVU Medicine's expert physicians, aimed at fostering healthier lifestyles in and beyond the state. It's a valuable resource for all. Check out the latest episodes, WVMetronews.com, under the podcast menu, and start your journey towards better health today. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaylor, text 304-935-5008. Text says, Dear Dave, the Lions just scored again. I had a couple texts about my love of the Dallas Cowboys and what happened on Sunday night, late at Sunday afternoon into Sunday night. I got no words. Steve Animal from the mountain, is just still crowing about that. But the Cowboys, well, they cowboyed. Hoppy Kurtzville coming up at 10:06 with Metro News Talk Line. As I touched on yesterday, when voters go to the polls on Election Day here in the Mountain State, they're going to be deciding on an amendment, in effect saying the state will ban physician-assisted suicides. Lots of arguments on both sides. Dr. Valerie Lovelace is an executive director of a hospice organization in the state of Maine. Now, that state faced a similar vote, and she's going to weigh in on how it went there. So that's coming up at 10:06. It was an interesting night on the presidential campaign trail last night. Ryan Schmelz of Fox News Radio on with Hoppy to weigh in on it. Both Harris and Trump were in Pennsylvania last night. Kamala Harris showing clips of Donald Trump's actual words while people were passing out at a Trump rally. Trump cut his short, then ordered the folks. I'm not making this up. There were some people doing some feigning and, certainly hope that they're okay. He cut his words short and ordered the crowd, ordered the music folks to play YMCA. apparently the former president doesn't know that YMCA. All right, I'll leave it there, but if he doesn't know, I'm not going to tell him. But anyway, Ryan Schmelz will explain it. Brad is on to talk PEIA. There's a major lawsuit to take place concerning asbestos at Fairmont State. Hoppy will get into that. Plus, Chris Steyerwalt is on today. A somewhat bizarre press conference yesterday and some weird comments made from WVU football coach Neil Brown. Hoppy will get into that. Plus, your calls and texts all covered up with Metro News Talk Line at 10:06. I'm running out of time here. I do want to tell you that another school closure hearing is planned for tonight. This one concerning Bell Elementary. The plan is to consolidate and to build another location. 2 meetings held last week. The school board voting to close East Bank and McKinley Middle Schools. This meeting tonight concerning Bell will be held at 6 at Riverside High School. WCHS, of course, will be covering the meeting. Jeff and the news team did an interview with frequent guests to the show, the mayor of Bell, David Fletcher. And as you may expect, he is on record as opposing the closure and or consolidation. We'll be covering the public meeting at Riverside tonight. But I think we all know what the result is going to be. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is presented by General Hardware of Winfield and Milton and General Lumber of Winfield. For all projects, big and small, shop locally. Visit GeneralHardwareWV.com. My thanks to Robb Reel from our sister station 96.1 KWS. He is walking from Charleston to Morgantown to deliver a check to WVU Children's. That walk will start Thursday morning. We'll be keeping you updated on that. Also, my thanks to Angie Settle, Chris Stansbury, and also to State Revenue Secretary Larry Pack. Talking Alzheimer's tomorrow on the show, plus Millie Snyder from the Shape Shop will be here. Download the all-new WVRC Media app and Metro News TV app. Till tomorrow, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS AM 96.5 FM Charleston, 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.